Hi, Zach. I heard you passed your driving test. Congratulations.
Thanks, Simon. I passed just last week. It feels amazing to have the freedom of driving on my own.
I've been thinking about taking driving lessons, but I'm having a hard time finding a driving school that offers weekend classes, so I don't have to miss any classes at college.
The driving school that I used was fantastic and had very flexible scheduling. They were even able to accommodate my school schedule. It's located at 67 Kings Road.
That's perfect. I'm not a big fan of driving in busy city streets. Did your instructor make you practice driving in urban areas, or did you mainly focus on roads in the countryside?
My instructor said it was important to learn how to drive in both city and rural environments to become a well-rounded and confident driver. We started out in the city center and then drove north of the city to practice on rural roads.
That sounds like a great approach. Could you give me his contact information so I can reach out to him for lessons?
Of course, I was referred to him by my mother's friend Daniel Smith. His name is Alan Bent.
Thank you so much for your help. I'll give him a call tomorrow. I'm still trying to decide whether to learn in a manual or automatic car. Any suggestions?
I had the same dilemma when I started learning to drive. I ultimately decided to learn in a manual car because once you know how to drive a manual car, you can drive an automatic car as well. However, most cars on the road are automatic these days.
Okay, I think I'll follow your lead and learn in a manual car. Hopefully, the instructor will be able to give me lessons in the evenings after school.
I would suggest taking lessons during the day. It will be easier for you to learn when there's enough light to clearly see everything around you. Driving at night can be dangerous for someone who is still a beginner.
That's frustrating, but safety comes first. I was hoping I wouldn't have to take lessons on the weekends.
I completely understand. And another thing to keep in mind is to wait until the summer to start your lessons. It can be difficult and dangerous to drive in windy and rainy weather, so it's best to wait until the weather is sunny and dry.
That works out well for me, actually, because it gives me some time to save up some money for the lessons.
I totally relate. It took me a few months of hard work to save up enough money for the lessons and the test, but it was all worth it when I finally got my license.
Yes, the whole process is so expensive. How much did it end up costing you in total?
Each half-hour lesson cost £30 and the final test cost £50. So in total, it was about £300.
Wow, that's quite a bit of money. How was the test? Was it difficult?
The test wasn't too bad and the examiner was very calm and friendly. I was aware that I would have to perform 2 parking maneuvers, but it was easy enough. By the way, did you know that there are a lot of online resources available for learning how to drive?
Really? I haven't heard of that before. Can you give me an example?
Sure. There are websites that provide virtual driving lessons, online courses, and interactive quizzes to help you prepare for the theory test. There's even an app that can help you to locate driving test centers and book your driving test.
Wow, that sounds like a great idea. I'll definitely check those resources out.
Definitely. I used a few of those resources to help me prepare for the theory test, and I found them to be very useful.
So, did you take any practice theory tests before the actual one?
Yes, I took several practice tests online, and I would highly recommend doing that. It gives you a good idea of what the actual test is like and what kind of questions you will be asked.
That's a great tip. I'll make sure to do that as well.
Absolutely. And remember to study the rules of the road carefully. It's important to have a good understanding of the traffic laws in order to become a safe and responsible driver.
That makes sense. I'll definitely spend some time studying the rules before I take my test. How long did you study for the theory test?
I studied for about 2 weeks before the test. I made a schedule and set aside a few hours each day to review the material.
2 weeks sounds like a good amount of time to prepare. I'll have to do the same and create a study schedule for myself. Thanks for the advice, Zach.
No problem, Simon. When I was preparing for my theory test, I found it helpful to use multiple study resources. I used the official driver's handbook provided by the driving school and also looked up online resources like practice tests and interactive quizzes. I try to connect the information with real-life examples to make it more memorable. For example, when learning about road signs, I would try to picture the signs in my mind and associate them with their meanings. Good luck with your driving lessons and the theory test. Let me know if you have any other questions.
Greetings, students. I am Dr. Torben Dahel, and I'll be your instructor for this first lecture in the Architecture series. Our focus today will be on examining the connection between architecture and climate. I'll provide a comprehensive overview of the key climatic factors that impact building design. As we progress through this lecture series, we'll delve into the newest research and findings on climatic design by prominent experts in the field, as well as examining real-life case studies and examples of modernist architecture in both urban and rural environments. Acid rain is a significant climatic factor that has a damaging impact on our architecture. The acidic chemicals in acid rain can cause a variety of problems, such as paint peeling, steel structures corroding, and stone statues eroding. In response to this, the government has made substantial efforts to reduce the release of these chemicals into the atmosphere since the 1970s, and these efforts have produced positive results. Additionally, private organizations have been working to raise awareness and funds for this issue, and they recently received a large donation from a bank. Studies have been conducted to examine the effects of acid rain at different altitudes, and the research has shown that there are lower levels of damaging pollutants in acid rain at higher altitudes. This means that skyscrapers are less susceptible to the harmful effects of acid rain, as they are exposed to acid rain with much lower levels of pollutants. The ALTER project has been established to conduct further research into acid rain and its impact on architecture. The project is focused on studying the effects of acid rain on traditional old stone buildings, which are particularly vulnerable to damage from acid rain. Masonry, in particular, is easily corroded and weakened by acidic chemicals. Protecting these historical and cultural buildings is of utmost importance. Pollution is a major concern in the present day, and the construction industry is a significant contributor to pollution through its production of building materials such as concrete and glass. However, new and sustainable methods are being developed to reduce this impact, such as the use of recycled glass in the windows of the Sky Tower. This helps to reduce pollution from the glass-making process. Water is one of the most challenging elements to deal with in construction. Ensuring that building components such as insulation are installed during dry weather is crucial to prevent water damage. This makes winter an unfavorable season for construction due to the risk of heavy rainfall. Another important climatic factor is humidity, which can have a significant impact on buildings. Steel and stone constructions are relatively resistant to humidity, but it can cause significant problems in wooden buildings if the wood has not been properly treated. When humidity levels increase, the moisture in the air can condense within the grain of the wood, causing it to swell and shrink in response to changes in its moisture content. This variability in size can result in serious structural problems. Therefore, it is essential to take the impact of humidity into consideration when constructing buildings, especially those made of wood. In regions prone to earthquakes, certain design and environmental factors are crucial to minimize damage to buildings during tremors. Engineers have developed various building techniques to reduce shaking in buildings, such as height restrictions and counterweights for tall buildings and reinforced floors and walls for multi-story buildings. Soil density can also be a cause for concern, as the wrong type of soil can put the foundations of a building at risk. Fortunately, advancements in technology have helped to mitigate the impact of earthquakes on buildings. Seismic sensors can provide early warning of an impending earthquake, allowing people and buildings to be protected. Architects can also measure and monitor the movement of building structures over time, giving them a better understanding of how to design buildings to withstand earthquakes. There is a growing demand for specialized courses for architects to design buildings in earthquake zones, and guidelines are expected to be developed by the government to provide architects with a standard checklist to follow. This will help ensure that buildings are designed and constructed in a way that minimizes the risk of damage in the event of an earthquake. Another important climatic factor to consider when designing buildings is temperature. The temperature can have a significant impact on the energy consumption of a building, as heating and cooling systems are often required to maintain a comfortable indoor environment. The orientation of a building, the placement of windows, and the materials used in construction can all impact the amount of energy needed to heat or cool a building. In recent years, there has been a growing focus on designing energy-efficient buildings that consume less energy and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. In fact, the green building market is expected to reach a value of $885 billion by 2035. Many sustainable building practices have been developed to reduce the environmental impact of buildings. These include using natural and renewable building materials, designing buildings to maximize natural light, and implementing energy-efficient systems.